Welcome to the world of flying, a marvel of human achievement that can sometimes spawn a fear known as aviophobia. As we saw through the 21st century, flying has become as common as hopping onto a bus. Yet for a significant number of individuals, the thought of being thousands of feet above the ground triggers a fear so intense it can freeze them in their tracks. This fear, known as aviophobia, is more prevalent than you might think, with an estimated 1 in 5 people experiencing some degree of anxiety about flying. Now let's delve into the psychological basis of this fear. At its core, aviophobia is a form of anxiety disorder. It's not just about the fear of flying itself, but also what it symbolizes: a lack of control, the possibility of accidents, and being in an unfamiliar environment. The symptoms of aviophobia can vary widely, but there are some common signs: a racing heart, sweaty palms, a feeling of nausea. These are all the body's natural responses to perceived danger. The fear can escalate to the point where it feels like an impending catastrophe is about to strike. Some people may experience panic attacks characterized by shortness of breath, trembling, and an overwhelming sense of dread. But the impact of aviophobia isn't just limited to the physical discomfort and mental distress it causes. It can have far-reaching consequences on a person's life. Imagine having to turn down a dream job because it requires frequent travel, or not being able to attend a loved one's wedding because it's overseas. Over time, the fear of flying can lead to missed opportunities, limiting personal growth and straining relationships. However, it's important to remember that aviophobia, like all fears, isn't a sign of weakness. It's a genuine psychological condition that can be managed and, in many cases, overcome. So if you or someone you know is grappling with this fear, remember, there's always help available, and there's no need to let fear clip your wings. The fear of flying can have debilitating consequences, from missed opportunities to strained relationships. But remember, acknowledging the fear is the first step towards overcoming it. So, buckle up as we embark on this journey to unmask the fear of flying. Now, let's delve into the root causes of this fear. Imagine you're settling into your seat on an airplane. The engines rumble to life, your heart pounds in your chest. What exactly is happening here? Why does the thought of being thousands of feet in the air, encased in a metallic bird, cause such distress? There are several reasons, and they vary from person to person. One of the most common is a lack of control. There's a certain vulnerability that comes with entrusting your life to the pilot and the aircraft. You're not in the driver's seat, and this can be incredibly unnerving for some. Next up, claustrophobia. Being confined in a small space for hours on end is no one's idea of a good time, and for those with claustrophobia, it's downright terrifying. The idea of being trapped in an airplane cabin with no easy or immediate way out can trigger intense anxiety. Then there's the fear of heights, or acrophobia. For those who get dizzy just looking down from the second floor of a shopping mall, the thought of being miles above the ground is nothing short of paralyzing. Lastly, let's not forget about past experiences. Have you ever had a turbulent flight that left you shaken, or perhaps you've been influenced by the dramatic portrayals of airplane disasters in movies and on television? These experiences can leave a lasting impression and give birth to a fear of flying. But it's not just about the fear itself, it's about how this fear affects your life. It can limit your travel opportunities, affect your career, and even strain your relationships. The impact of aviophobia extends far beyond the discomfort of a single flight. So, you see, the fear of flying isn't as irrational as it may seem. It's rooted in very real and understandable concerns. But remember, understanding the root causes of your fear is the first step towards overcoming it. Now that we've understood the fear, let's look at the first way to combat it: pre-flight preparation. Preparation, my dear friends, is key. It's like going into a battle, except this time the battle is with your own mind. And the weapon, knowledge and familiarity. Let's start with familiarizing yourself with the flight process. You see, fear often stems from the unknown. By understanding the ins and outs of your flight, from the moment you step into the airport to the moment you step off the plane, you're already taking a huge step towards conquering your fear. Take time to read about the flight process, learn about security checks, boarding, takeoff, turbulence, landing, all of it. Now, if possible, take it a step further. Visit the airport in advance. Yes, you heard that right. It might seem a bit out of the ordinary, but it can work wonders. Walk through the terminals, watch the planes take off and land. Get a feel for the hustle and bustle. Familiarity, remember? All right, now that you understand the process and have gotten a taste of the environment, It's time to practice relaxation techniques. You see, anxiety often leads to physical symptoms like a racing heart, sweaty palms, and shallow breathing, but with the right techniques, you can keep these symptoms in check. Begin with deep breathing. It's simple but effective. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, then exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this a few times and you'll start to feel calmer. Next, try progressive muscle relaxation. This involves tensing and then releasing different muscle groups in your body. Start from your toes and work your way up to your head. You'll be surprised at how relaxed you'll feel afterwards. Lastly, try some guided imagery. Imagine yourself in a peaceful place, maybe a beach, a forest, or even your own bed. The more you practice these techniques, the better you'll get at them and the more effective they'll be during your flight. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know, the less you'll fear. So gear up, prepare well, and get ready to conquer your fear of flying. After all, the world is waiting for you. Now let's talk about some in-flight relaxation techniques. One of the most effective ways to manage fear of flying while on board is to practice deep breathing. This is not just any kind of breathing, mind you, but a slow, focused inhale through your nose, followed by a gradual exhale through your mouth. Picture your breath as a steady, calming wave washing over you, helping to soothe your nerves and quiet your mind. Next, consider bringing along some calming music. There's a world of relaxation at your fingertips thanks to the myriad of music apps available. Choose tracks that promote tranquility and peace. Classical music, ambient soundscapes, or even the soothing sounds of nature can work wonders. Imagine you're not in a plane but in a serene forest or by a gentle stream. Allow the music to transport you to a place of calm and serenity. Distraction techniques also play a vital role in in-flight relaxation. The power of distraction cannot be overstated. Bring along a good book, download a movie you've been wanting to see, or why not indulge in some light-hearted sitcoms? Engaging your mind in something enjoyable can help divert your attention away from your anxieties. Another excellent practice is progressive muscle relaxation. This involves tensing and then relaxing each muscle group in your body, starting from your toes and working your way up to your head. It's a wonderful way to relieve tension and promote a sense of overall well-being. Remember, these techniques are not one-size-fits-all. What works well for one person might not work as well for another. The key is to experiment and find out what works best for you. Try different combinations and don't be afraid to mix and match. Each flight is an opportunity to practice these techniques and to grow more comfortable with the experience of flying. With practice and patience, you'll find the journey can become just as enjoyable as the destination. These techniques can help you stay calm and composed even when you're 35,000 feet above ground. Next up, we'll talk about the power of positive visualization. Now imagine for a moment that you're a seasoned traveler, someone who hops on and off planes with the ease of a bird taking flight. Picture yourself strolling through the airport, a confident smile on your face as you board the plane. You take your seat, fasten your seatbelt, and relax into the journey. This, dear friends, is the power of positive visualization. Visualization is a technique that utilizes your imagination to create mental images of what you want to happen or feel in reality. It's like a rehearsal, preparing your mind and body for the real thing. In the context of aviophobia or fear of flying, it's about picturing yourself calmly navigating the entire flying process, from check-in to touchdown. When you visualize a safe and successful flight, you're essentially training your brain to be comfortable with the idea of flying. It's a bit like telling your brain, look, this is how it's going to be. We're going to be fine, we're going to enjoy the flight, and we're going to land safely. Remember, the brain is a powerful organ and it often doesn't differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. So when you consistently visualize positive flying experiences, your brain starts to accept that as your new reality. Over time, this can significantly reduce anxiety and fear associated with flying. There's a simple formula to effective visualization. Firstly, make sure your visualizations are vivid and detailed. Imagine the sights, sounds, and even the smells. Secondly, incorporate positive emotions. Feel the excitement of travel, the joy of reaching your destination. Lastly, practice regularly. The more you visualize, the easier it becomes. So the next time you're feeling apprehensive about a flight, take a few moments to yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and visualize a positive, successful flight. See yourself as the confident, fearless traveler you aspire to be. Positive visualization can be a powerful tool in your arsenal against the fear of flying. Harness its potential and watch as your fear takes a back seat, allowing you to enjoy the thrill and freedom that flying brings. If self-help techniques don't work, don't worry, there's always professional help available. Now, let's talk about therapy and medication. They play a crucial role in overcoming the fear of flying, particularly when self-help techniques fail to cut the mustard. Firstly, therapy, more specifically cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. This form of therapy is the gold standard for treating many phobias, including aviophobia. With a trained therapist, you'll explore the root cause of your fear, understand how your thought patterns contribute to it, and learn to challenge and change those thoughts. It's a journey of self-discovery and transformation, like turning a fearful caterpillar into a fearless butterfly. CBT often involves exposure therapy, where you gradually expose yourself to the source of your fear. In this case, it could start from just looking at pictures of planes to visiting an airport and eventually boarding a flight. It's like dipping your toes into the water before diving in. But what if therapy alone isn't enough? That's where medication comes in. Now, we're not talking about popping pills willy-nilly. Medication for the fear of flying is typically prescribed as a last resort when the anxiety is so severe that it interferes with your daily life or your ability to travel. There are different types of medication that can help. Anti-anxiety drugs, for instance, can calm your nerves and help you relax. On the other hand, beta blockers can control the physical symptoms of anxiety, like a racing heart. But remember, these are not long-term solutions. They're like band-aids, providing temporary relief. The real healing comes from therapy and working through your fear. One more thing to note, if you're considering medication, it's absolutely essential to consult with a healthcare professional. They can provide guidance, discuss potential side effects, and monitor your progress. In conclusion, therapy and medication can be powerful tools in your arsenal against the fear of flying. They're like the co-pilots, guiding you through the turbulence and helping you land safely on the other side of your fear. Remember, there's no shame in seeking help. You're not alone in this. Now let's lighten the mood a bit and look at the lighter side of flying. You know, air travel isn't all turbulence and tray tables. There are some genuinely amusing facets to it, and today we're going to share a few of those. Did you know that the shortest commercial flight in the world is a mere 2 minutes long? Yes, just 2 minutes. It's in Scotland, between the islands of Westray and Papa Westray. You could barely even get your seatbelt fastened in that time. And speaking of seatbelts, have you ever wondered why we have to buckle up on a plane but not on a bus? Well, it's not just for the turbulence, it's also to ensure that if there's a sudden deceleration, you won't end up in the lap of the person sitting next to you. So you see, seatbelts aren't just for safety, they're also for preserving personal space. Now let's talk about airplane food. We've all heard the jokes, but did you know that your taste buds actually behave differently at high altitudes? That's right. The dry air and low pressure can make food taste blander. So next time you're unimpressed by your in-flight meal, remember it's not entirely the airline's fault. And here's a fun fact about pilots. They eat different meals to ensure that in the unlikely event one meal causes food poisoning, the other pilot is unaffected. Talk about being prepared. Lastly, have you ever noticed how flight attendants always tell you to put your own oxygen mask on before helping others? It's not just a safety protocol, it's also a life lesson. You can't help others if you're not functioning at your best. So, remember to take care of yourself first. So as you can see, flying isn't all doom and gloom, it can be a fun and exciting experience. So, there you have it, folks. We've embarked on an enlightening journey, unmasking the fear of flying, delving into the root causes of aviophobia, and understanding its symptoms and consequences. We've also explored the critical role of pre-flight preparation and how it can set the tone for your journey. We've discussed in-flight relaxation techniques that can help you stay calm and composed, even when you're thousands of feet above the ground. We've also highlighted the power of positive visualization and how imagining a peaceful and successful flight can actually help you achieve just that. Moreover, we've shed light on the value of seeking professional help and considering medication if needed. And finally, we've seen the lighter side of flying, reminding us that humor can be a potent antidote to fear. Remember, the fear of flying is common, but it's not insurmountable. With the right tools and mindset, you can conquer it. Safe travels. Before we wrap up, here's a call to action for all of you. If you found this video helpful and insightful, don't forget to hit that like button. share it with those who might benefit from it, and subscribe to our channel for more such empowering content. Your support makes a huge difference, and it helps us continue to bring you these resources. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments section below. Perhaps you have a personal story about overcoming aviophobia, or you've tried some of the techniques we've discussed today. Your experiences can be a beacon of hope for others facing the same fears. Stay tuned for more such enlightening videos. We've got a lot more in store for you, and we're dedicated to helping you navigate through your fears and towards your goals. Remember, every journey begins with a single step. Don't let the fear of flying hold you back. Take that step towards conquering your fear today. Safe travels.